Hey guys, quick live video again. Same thing I did yesterday. Again, like I said, it's really easy to put these kind of videos up really quick and easy, so I might be doing a few of these. I have a question for everybody out there, and I think it's an important question, and it is implied in the title. What fucking country is this that we live in now? And I asked that for one reason. I was watching the show this morning, one of the news channels. I honestly don't remember which one, and there was a panel of people there. There was several, like off-duty law enforcement officials, some retired law enforcement. Obviously, there were some people in the media. There was people, some people, I can't remember, on both sides of the aisle, Democrats, Republicans, some typical politicians and that kind of thing. And they were all kind of sitting around talking about the riots in Ferguson. And it got to the point to where a couple of the law enforcement officers started talking about all the troubles they're having in Ferguson, where they're actually arresting people for a lot of the crimes, the major crimes that are being committed, people throwing Molotov cocktails and that kind of thing, are actually being committed by people who are coming from, out of state, like from New York, from California, basically just to come to cause mayhem. That's what they've noticed. They've noticed this trend that the people who are doing the most damage, causing those problems, aren't even from Ferguson. They're people that are just showing up to shoot the shit, cause crap. And I understand that this is a big problem. This is something that needs to be stopped, because regardless of how I feel about police being militarized, there is no excuse for rioting and for the crimes that are being committed. It needs to be stopped. I just feel it needs to be stopped civilly by a civilized police force and possibly the National Guard, and not by a militarized police force. But during the course of this conversation, I was sitting here watching, and all these people seem to gather around and begin to agree on one thing, that, well, part of what they needed to do and what they need to do to really solve this problem of people coming in to cause problems that don't really live there in Ferguson is they need to set up checkpoints and zones that need to be patrolled, and they need to disallow free access from one zone to the other, and people would have to pass through checkpoints to go in and out of Ferguson. And there, obviously, the governor institutes some curfews, and then the locality needs to institute its own curfews. And I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm waiting for somebody, anybody on that panel, to stand up and go, "What the fuck? This isn't Fallujah. This isn't Afghanistan. What are you talking about zones and checkpoints and curfews for? We already have a militarized police there causing problems." And nobody said anything. Everybody just kind of went, "Yeah, that would do it. That would probably help the situation out." What the fuck? Seriously. Why is nobody picking up on this? These riots are a bad thing. The looting is a bad thing. We've seen it, we've seen it looting as far as this kind of stuff. We saw it happen during Katrina. The LA riots back in the 90s were 10 times worse than this. And we managed to take care of those problems with a more civilized police force at those times, with help from the National Guard in the case of Katrina. And yes, there were mistakes made by the government there, because there always is. It's the government. But what I'm saying is, why is this to the point? Why is this so bad, this particular situation, that we need to treat this town as if it is a foreign country, a foreign war zone, where the military or the police need to come in and create checkpoints and zones and curfews? This is the United States. We were founded on freedom over safety, and that obviously poses risk. That's something we deal with, and it's something that we as a country accept because we value our freedom. We don't need to feel safe and secure all the time. Yeah, sure, it'd be nice, but you don't give that up. You don't give up freedom for that. You don't say, "I want to feel so safe, so yes, go ahead and put me in a little zone, and I'll go through checkpoints whenever I need to. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." No, that is not the way our country works, and the reason is very simple, because we learned a long time ago that when you give up freedom for safety, you begin to lose everything, all your rights, and they all start to crumble and fall. This is unacceptable. Why are more people not getting upset that people are just casually talking about this? Now, have they done it yet? No. No. They have instilled curfews. I get that. But they haven't started with the checkpoints and the zones and that kind of thing. But when you have a group of people that is as diverse as several different people from the media, several different law enforcement officials from different branches all over the country, you've got Republicans and you've got Democrats all sitting there together agreeing that this is a good idea. How long do you think it's going to be if these riots continue, if the looting continues, that somebody there decides, hey, let's go ahead and do this. Let's start setting up checkpoints and zones. I understand there's problems, and I understand they need to be taken care of, and I understand there's an issue with people coming in from out of town to cause problems, but you do not solve that problem in this country by restricting people's freedoms. You just don't do it. This is the United States. This is the place where we're supposed to not have to deal with those kinds of things. No matter how bad things get, we look to ourselves, we rely on ourselves because we have the personal freedom to take care of these types of problems, and we rely on a civil police force. We do have a National Guard to help take care of these things, but we don't start treating Missouri like it's Afghanistan. We don't do that in this country, and more people need to stand up and get pissed off about it, that this is the way that it seems to be heading. Again, it hasn't gotten there yet. I haven't heard anything about checkpoints or zones, but too many people are talking about it openly as if this is the answer, and I'm afraid somebody will actually try to implement that. This is the United States. This is where we don't allow those things to happen. That's it. I just saw that this morning and I got pissed and I wanted to make a video, and so that's what I did. Hopefully this will get some of you guys talking, and I really don't know what can be done about it. What can you do? Call your congressman, your senator? I don't know. Talk to your law enforcement officials. Well, if you don't live in Missouri, it pretty much doesn't do much good. But people need to be outraged that there's even talk about this kind of thing in this country. Again, I know there's a problem, but this is the United States, and that's not how we solve things here. So anyway, that's it. I appreciate you watching. Comments and questions down below. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.